Greetings, YouTubers. This is Gene, aka the Brooklyn Blue Jay, doing a little bit of a follow up on the process that I've been going through with tearing down the old 20-gallon aquarium, dirted planted aquarium, and putting up a new 20 dirted. Well, I will be dirting and will be planting that aquarium. So this is just a little note for the absolute beginners, because the old pros, if anything, should leave a comment and tell me how to do this better. So I had a dirt bed, organic potting soil mix with two other substrates on top of it. I had one called Active Flora and one called Floramax. Now, Floramax is very much like Eco Complete, but it's a little cheaper, but pretty much the same thing as Eco Complete. So tearing it all down is a really tedious task. So I had to remove all the fish. I put them down there in my 5.5 gallon that's been running for a long time. Of course, they're miserable because it's cramped and so on and so forth. Then tearing out the plants. So that's what you see right here. So I took out the driftwood, had 2 large pieces of driftwood in there. Had lots of sward plants with incredible roots. Even here, like, this is a little baby, but lots of deep roots. Sward plants, a lot of people do not like them because they're called tank busters. They grow and grow and grow. They just get really big. They can get really big. For the beginner, I think that's probably a very good plant to start with, because you will feel a sense of accomplishment as you see your plant grow massive. Now, in this container, I have tons and tons of dwarf sage with lots of runners, and I have a few crypts that have amazing roots as well. This is a follow-up to my other video. I do dirted tanks because I like plants that are root feeders. I like the way they grow. I like their ease. Very easy to care for. I just recommend those for beginners. But anyway, I digress, because this is about breaking down the tank. So I had to drain the water and then scoop out both of those substrates that I want to keep and I want to reuse. I'm just going to rinse them and use them over, and that is the Active Flora and the Floramax. But like I said, the bed underneath is dirt. So what I had to do is, like, meticulously, like, patiently, like, scrape up, all of this matter, and then, like, in the water, rinse, kind of like what the gold miners did back in the day, and then the dirt will separate and fall, leaving me with, the heavier, rockier substrate. There's like hardly any of that heavy, rocky substrate left, or heavier. So you can see to the left is, like, right to the left is, like, you see soil, exhausted soil. And then here you can see that rocky, it's supposed to have, like, minerals, plant minerals and stuff like that in that substrate. I don't know, because I don't know how nutrient rich this is anymore, but I've also heard that reusing the substrate is pretty good for starting up new tanks as well. So this is my first time too. So anyway, this is like a little bit of a beginner's, just a little beginner tips, I guess, or just, I don't know, a vlog of some kind for a beginner who's doing a dirty tank. Maybe they want to tear down their old tank and want to restart the new. if you have a good cap, a good nutrient cap like Floramax or Eco Complete, don't throw it away. Just separate it, rinse it out. I'm rinsing everything out in that bucket there. Rinse it out, reuse it. Put your fresh dirt bed if you want to go back to dirt, and reuse what you have. I've heard that it's really good, so we'll find out. Okay, well, went to bed really late last night, probably around 2:30, because I had been working on this thing, trying to get as much done as possible, but I was just too tired. I couldn't complete the task. So this is a continuation on transferring old media, substrate, into a new tank. So what I did is I had this old substrate in some aquarium water, as you know, I mentioned earlier. And let me see if I could do this one-handed. I was taking a slotted spoon and I was, fishing out the media and just like shaking off as much loose dirt as I possibly could, and then transferring it to a container, filling that container up as much as I could, draining off water. But as you can see, I foresee some problems, and that is there's still plenty of like loose soil. This is mixed up also with some of the oh my god, not Eco Complete, but hey, the name still, it goes back and forth with me with the names. But some of the substrate also becomes fine over time, so that's mixing in with some soil. So like I said, I foresee a problem as to when I actually put water in this tank. I'm sure it's going to be quite messy. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of particulate matter that's going to get tossed about and probably float to the top. This is going to be messy, just letting you know. So I understand why a lot of people do not like dirt, because they say dirt is dirty. Yes, it is messy if you just don't have the patience to deal with that, then definitely do not do dirt. But I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. And for those of you who are thinking about this type of thing, or have questions about this type of thing, and are visual learners, this is the way I'm doing it. And good luck to you. Okay, I'm back, and I have to end here because it's Sunday night now, and I've spent the better part of the weekend doing all of this. It's just, I spend my weekends cleaning only to go ahead and make a mess before the weekend is over. So anyway, I thought this was going to be a huge muddy mess, but it's not too bad. Of course, water's going to be a little cloudy, little stuff gets kicked up. I'm running 2 filters back there. The Aquarium, it has the that's the old filter from the previous setup, and it has the old media in there, which is cycled media. I have that running. I think I'm catching a cold. And then I have an AquaClear 30 over here, which I've just filled with pot scrubbers, the plastic pot scrubbers, so they are inert, and some filter floss. I just want extra polishing going on to pick up all the, there was a lot of little pieces of wood and whatnot, not a whole lot. So anyway, planted up all the swords, planted maybe like 30 little stems or whatever plantlets of dwarf sage. Got my crypts going, got a couple of crypts going over here, so hopefully they'll grow up a nice medium size, have little little bush over here, if you could call it that. So it'll be my medium size, my tall. I'm going to have the driftwood over here. I need to sand the driftwood down a little bit because it has some sharp edges, and I'm just worried that fish might get their fins ripped, since I do have fish that have delicate flowing fins and whatnot. So I'm going to do a little sanding on that before I put it in, but it will be in this area. Anyway, guys, thank you for being so patient, hanging out with me for this little journey. Hope you guys are doing the same. Hope you guys are tanking. And let me see your projects. Thank you all. Once again, this is Jean, aka the Brooklyn Blue Jay. Have a most excellent week. Be well all.